Aley, hello. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, my dear.
Thank you. And thank you. We're going to be talking today about manifestation and the law of attraction. And I thought, well, I have a little bit of information that I can share with you guys. And then I thought maybe Aley and I could share some personal stories on how the law of attraction has, like, how we've manifested stuff really fast, and share a few things. And then I have I have my vision board that I brought with, guys. It's really big, but I thought that
that's cool. Yeah.
I would be vulnerable and I would share it with you, because sometimes it's just nice to be able to see what other people do on their vision boards and what they have on there. And so I thought we could have a sneak peek of that. But should we say hi to some people? Yes, Jen is here, and she's a new member.
Isn't that great? She joined yesterday. Yes.
That's great? Awesome, Jen. You are going to be so happy. And you have do you have membership
meeting tomorrow? Yeah. Members meeting tomorrow. I wanted to make sure I did it before I went away. And to make sure it got done this month. So yes, tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern time. And come on down.
Yep. Yeah. So if you're not a member, if you haven't subscribed to Aley's channel, please do. And she's got a wonderful membership where she comes on once a month and she'll do readings, and there's just there's a discussion, and it's just a way for all of us to get together and communicate. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Yeah. That's so nice.
Auntie Garden Chicken, hello for being here today. And that's it, you guys. Thank you for sharing your time with us. I know Fridays are busy and there's a lot of shows. And so thank you for sharing your time with us. Lauren, hello. Thank you for being here. And we have Michelle is in the house. Michelle, thank you. Sonia, hello.
Debbie.
And Debbie, hello. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And we have Jen's all over in the house.
I know. Jen B, visionary gal. She is too. She sees orbs all the time. That's fabulous.
Yes, so wonderful. Hello, beautiful people. Love and light to you all. And same to you, Jen.
Oh, I put it on Sunday, not Saturday. Oh, I'm such a ding-a-ling. Thank you. I will change it. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah. So no. Yeah. It's gonna be Saturday.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
For everybody. Yep.
At noon. All right. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you so much. I would have been there, and no one else would have been there. Thank you. It's Water Lily. Hi, Water Lily.
Yes. Hello. I love her picture.
I know, it's so cute. Yeah.
So just a few notes that I had. Oh, you know what? Before I get started, Julie Johnson. She is having surgery at 1:00 today. So
they're getting their prep right now. Then, so let's hang out and say much love and light around her.
Yep, I have a little altar over there. I got candles, and it's with her heart. So I have some green crystals and white crystals and heart crystals and angels. But yeah, if we could all send her some love and some light for her surgery.
And again, Carolyn Booker is going to be in the hospital for a while, but Peter says she's slow but sure. So yeah.
And I have Carolyn on my prayer list. So yeah, if you guys, if you have the energy and the send prayers to Carolyn and Julie when you can, because they could use the extra love and light.
Sure.
Wiki, hello, thank you for being here, and Magic by the Moonlight, and BG, thank you. BG, it makes me think of the Bee Gees.
Oh yeah,
the Bee Gees. Yep. So how I kind of wrote down an easy way to help us to understand the law of attraction and manifestation. And everything in the universe is made up of atoms, and atoms are energy. And so everything is in constant motion, so that means everything has a vibration, right? And so our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs emit frequency. And so this is the law of attraction. And so what we focus on emotionally and energetically, we attract. And so and the thing of it is when I first started really working with the law of attraction, probably back in the early 2000s, I was nervous at first, because I thought, oh my gosh, if I think something negative, I'm going to automatically attract that. And,
Right.
but that's not the case. I mean, because we all have negative days and whatnot. It's our dominant thoughts and feelings that act like magnets to draw, people, situations, opportunities, and the hopes and dreams that we're trying to manifest. So, just knowing that it's, we all have our days where, we're just.
Are we Eeyore, or who's the one that always talks like this? Is one of those.
Yeah.
I think it was anyway.
He was always having a bad day. Carol B, hello. Jackie Crystal Moon, thank you for being here. I just subscribed to your channel. And Charlie C, Sage of Fire. I love that name. Jackie Coons.
Jackie she's on her way to Minnesota, driving from Florida. She just came through St. Louis. So angels and light all around you as you drive. Thank you so much.
Yes, Jackie. Yep. You're going to my home state, Minnesota.
I'm going there too on my trip.
Are you going to be going through Minnesota?
Because I'm going through North Dakota and then into Minnesota. And then I'm going to head down from there. Yeah. So.
Oh, how cool is that?
I know. I thought to myself, who would have thought I would have been in Minnesota this year, just like you were?
Right? That is so cool. So cool. So if I missed anybody, Barbara, thank you for being here.
Donna Marie, hi. Thank you.
Carol B, hello. Yeah. If I missed anybody, I'm really sorry, but thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us on a Friday. So our frequency, our frequency is huge in manifesting. So, whether, if we're in 3D or 4D, I mean, we can still manifest, well, but it typically takes a little bit longer when we're at that lower frequency. So when we're vibrating at 5D or higher, we can manifest a lot quicker. And so to stay in that frequency, and if you've listened to me, I can be kind of obnoxious sometimes with the thank yous. I say thank you a lot. Thank you. But I'm constantly saying it because I'm constantly trying to stay at that 5, and not that I'm thinking about it. It's just
it's become part of who you are. Yeah, that's what.
And when I give you a glimpse of my vision board too, it's like thank yous thank yous all over it. So that does help us stay in the 5D. And then of course prayers and gratitudes help us stay in there. And then I do my intentions. Do you do your intentions, Aley?
I do them if I'm thinking about it. I sometimes, I'm so busy during the day that I don't, but if I do, they usually are front and center. And and then I also love to check off that the intention was met.
Isn't that a wonderful feeling to be able to do that?
Yep.
And don't you really think that when we do write down our intentions, whether it's our intentions or our goals, our dreams, wishes, however a person wants to phrase it, when we write them down, don't you think that it happens faster?
I think it does. And I don't know, there's something, I remember that I was always told if you hold a pen and put your, and what you're doing is taking this and bringing it down your arm into the pen. And it's part of your intention, because thoughts are things, and thoughts start the intention. So I try to tell my students if they can write their papers that way, but I can't get anybody that wants to not just type it, because they only want to do it once and then let it go. But it really makes a difference. And that's why journaling is so powerful as well.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
It's getting that down on paper. And like you said, there is something really rewarding about being able to cross it off.
Oh, I love it. Look what I did today.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And so, doing our intentions, vision boards. Do you have any vision boards?
I've had them in the past. And they've been very effective. I've also done Post-it notes everywhere, which I consider as like a vision board around the house, or a vision board everywhere you look. But I love vision boards. I think they're very powerful. So
yeah. I have 5. I think I have 5 of them in here. But I did, now when I was getting this one, this is probably my oldest one, I did notice I do need to work on some of them and take down the things, like you said, like even like a list, your vision boards, you should take the stuff off once that's come into fruition. And and like you said, journaling, affirmations, and I'll do that too. I will take Post-its and or piece of paper, and I will put like little notes of affirmations all over the house, on the cupboards and doors and stuff. And I think that is just a good way.
It's a reminder. It's a reminder for you.
And
It's awesome. Can I just say that BG has made a comment. So while we're here, that's right.
Thank you.
She listened to Neville Goddard, and I don't know if anybody has heard of Neville Goddard, but he was like from the 30s or something like that. And I'm not sure if he was Unity Church, which is not like regular church, but anyway, creation is imagination. Imagine, feel, and believe the end results. That's absolutely spot on.
Yes.
And there are no new revelations on how to attract things, because so even before him there were others that did it, but Neville is very accessible and not over the top, and I like reading his books.
Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
BG. Thank you.
Thank you, PG.
I don't think I have I've listened, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
Like I said, I don't know if you've ever heard of Ernest Holmes, but Ernest Holmes was Science of Mind, and he was a long time ago too, and he had some really interesting stuff that he shared with the group. And then there's a man, I think his name is Charles Fillmore, and he was a Unity Church. But these two churches really aren't about they don't talk negative at all, because that's not what these leaders do. But you're right, BG. You want a job promotion, you have to believe and feel, and there is no I want it out there. Everything has to be I have it now.
And that's exactly it. And the literally, like she said, the seeing, believing it's going to come, and letting go of how it's going to happen, because it's not for us to decide how it's going to happen. Just believing it's going to happen is the key thing. That's so true.
Hi, Suzanne. I remember that when we were trying to figure out where to live, 5, I think it was. And we did a summer, like a solstice thing in the backyard, and said, put us where we're supposed to be. Give us a sign, and we're going to let it go. And we don't need to know how it comes. We did ask that a certain person would call on the phone, only because we wanted to know that we had manifested that. And that person didn't call me very much. And within 20 minutes, the phone rang.
No way, Aley. Seriously, 20 minutes?
Seriously, 20 minutes. And the first words out of her mouth were, pack your bags, Aunt. We're moving to Seattle.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you for
That was the
sharing that.
fastest manifestation I ever saw in my life. And I knew it was meant to be. I knew it was because we were looking at New Mexico or Seattle. We didn't know. We said, this would be okay, but and that was it. That was it. And I've been the happiest I've ever been in my entire life where I live. So
that is amazing.
Yeah.
There's a similar story when we were living in Minnesota. And my husband really, he wasn't on board about moving out here. He wanted to, but I think he was really nervous and whatnot. And so I remember talking to my angels and guides and saying, you need to find a job in California for Tim. And I just want it to land in his lap. I just want it to land in his lap. And I kept saying that. And it must have been, I had been saying it for a few weeks. And then all of a sudden we needed to go to Las Vegas for Tim's work. We needed to go out there for a conference. It was a conference, like a week conference. But the thing of it is I hadn't told Tim I was asking for this. And so we go to this conference in Las Vegas, and it's the last day of the conference, and Tim comes back into the hotel room and he kind of throws his stuff down on the bed and he goes, well, that was an interesting day. And I go, oh, I said, what happened? He goes, well, I was having lunch, with, the people from the conference. And this guy goes, hey, Tim, if you ever move out to California, I have a job for you. Like, now I'm covered in goosebumps. I looked at him and I go, right? I go, are you kidding me? And he goes, no. He goes, that was really weird. And I go, well, I said, I never told you this, but I said, I was asking for angels and guides to have a job opportunity, and I literally said, fall in your lap. And he goes, well, that's pretty much what happened. And so it works. It really
does. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I'm thinking Tim is like, wonder what she's hoping for now, because when you were working on his shoulder, you didn't tell him till afterwards, and then this you didn't tell him.
Right?
Oh, I got to be careful. I better be a good boy. We don't want her wishing for something not good. Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Dawn. Thank you for being here. Well, and when we moved to a new city in Minnesota one time, and I wanted to find a part-time job to do something, and we were new in the community, so I wanted to be able to get to know people too, and just make a little bit of extra money. And I had been invited to this party. I don't know. It was, the selling something. It wasn't Tupperware, but it was selling something. And I remember sitting, there was like these little tables down in this basement, and I was sitting at a table, not aware, because I was new to the community, who I was sitting with. And this lady says to me, well, first of all, I'll tell you, when I was looking for a job, I said, I want to find a job in the community, but I said, I don't want to work too hard. And I don't want to work too hard, and I want to make a decent amount of money. And I want the hours to be flexible. And I'm sitting there at this table, and this gal at the tables, and I don't know who she is, says, are you, you're new to the community. Are you planning on getting a job in town? And I looked at her and I said, yeah. I said, I think, yeah, I would like to find, something. But I said, I really don't want to work very hard. And I said, and I want to make good money. And I remember she said, oh, okay. And I found out later that they were the owners of the newspaper.
Oh.
And it was like, it wasn't even a week later, her husband called me and said, you were at a party the other night, and my wife was sitting next to you and said that you were looking for a job. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I told her I don't want to work very hard, and I want to make a decent amount of money. He goes, I'd like to offer you a job. And I was,
he hadn't even met you.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I know his wife did, but
Yeah.
That has happened to me too, where there were two. I got out of college, and one of my teachers in my grad class, he was like the chancellor of 4 or 5 community colleges. And so I applied for one of the colleges and I didn't hear anything. And so I said, could you write me a letter of recommendation? He said, I'll just he picked up the phone, give her a job. And then it happened in Kentucky. I was trying to get a job at this community college and nobody would return my calls. There was no way. And so I went to a breakfast with Keith for the community, like you kind of did. And I sat down and the lady next to me was the president of the college.
Oh my
And
God.
she said, I told her, and she said, would you like to come with me to this conference? I'd love to take you with me. And then she said, I'll call the English department and we'll get you in it, part-time, of course. And then in Nevada, when we moved to Nevada, I wanted to work for the University of Nevada, Reno. And I picked up the phone and I called the lady and she said, oh, you're delightful. I'll give you no interview. Here's a job. And it happened almost every job I've had, that's happened. And I don't know how, but apparently I do
Aley,
it.
that's amazing.
I know. And I'm sitting here thinking about it as you were talking, thinking, holy shit. I've done this, and you just don't realize you do it for some reason. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, then it wasn't meant to be.
Right. Something else will come along.
Something else will come along. Yeah.
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 That's amazing. I know when we moved out here, we didn't take a lot of stuff with us. And I just kept telling the universe, we need to find a house where we're going to have, that we'll be able to, have, I didn't say furnish, but be able to have the things that we need that we didn't bring with.
Yeah.
And when we looked at this house, it wasn't even an option. I mean, the people that lived here were moving to Texas and they were taking everything with.
Yeah.
But what happened when they had rented a trailer to pack up their belongings, and when they realized they couldn't fit everything in, they called me and said, well, do you want a dresser? Do you want some furniture, a ping pong table, patio furniture, all of this? Because he said, we don't have room to bring it with. And I'm like, yeah, sure. We'll take it.
They left you their pool too. So that was good.
Yeah. That was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so, keeping a positive attitude is obviously, really important, and just know that if a person's having a hard day, not to be hard on yourself, and just, let it go, because, the world that we're living in and the stress that we're all under, we're all going to have days, but trying to remain positive and surrounding yourself with positive people are a huge part of manifesting and manifesting. And you can still, I think even the most negative people can still manifest. It's just not going to happen quite as fast.
Well, the bad thing is, if you've got somebody that's drowning in drama, they will bring more drama. Mm-hmm. And, so it isn't necessarily, well, why did I, but a lot of us, and I said this the other day to somebody on another show, but we're responsible for what happens to us. And, that may not be fair in a lot of ways, but there's something that we may have either contracted to do before we came, mm-hmm. or there's some kind of thought pattern we have, or disbelief in the good, or that there's enough for us or anyone else. And so I did live through a really hard 2 years where we had nothing. We worked at a storage place. And I remember thinking, what did I do to deserve this? Because of course I would, but now if I look back, I recognize I needed that to strengthen my own resolve and know that I could stand on my own 2 feet and get it done. Mm-hmm. And, but it is very sad that some people can't look at things positively at all. there's never they can't find anything to be grateful for. And I think in everything we have something to be grateful for, that it could have been worse, it could have been worse, or, I got through it or whatever. So, yeah.
And right. It's finding those blessings, even when we're throwing a curveball, because we're all throwing curveballs in life.
Oh, yeah.
Really looking at, it was either meant to slow me down, or I needed to work through some healing that I hadn't, I hadn't addressed. But there's always a silver lining in those curveballs that
eventually, I think, it's hindsight, of course, is so 2020. We say, why didn't I think this out better?
Yeah.
But maybe you didn't think it out better because you needed to go through the experience. I don't know. And then next time, I'll think this out a little bit better.
Right? Yeah. And if it's just that little bit of, that learning, maybe we need to think things through a little bit longer or whatnot.
I love this, Dawn. And you know what? They say fake it till you make it. And honestly, there are days I don't want to get out of bed. Honestly, there are.
Oh, yeah.
And I know we all go through that. And keeping a positive, I had somebody today write, I had written about something on social media, and somebody said, well, you're obviously nothing more than a Marxist hag, and you don't have anybody that loves you, and that's why you spend your time on. And I'm thinking to myself, so I went, ha 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 ha, F you. And I probably should have stayed higher.
High five, sister. High five to you. That is absolutely horrible. What a miserable thing to say.
What a miserable thing to say to anybody. And the man didn't know me. The man, it was like one of those things where, somebody just posted. They were ripping apart this one lady, and I kind of went in to save her. And I think that's what happened. That she and I were on the same page, and everybody else was not.
Wow.
Not yeah, I know.
Obviously, he's miserable.
Yeah. I thought of a few other things, like that 4th grade education really did you good, didn't it, or something like that. But I can't think of that fast enough. Yeah.
I know, it's always after the fact, right?
Oh, Water Lily, the screen glitched with green when I.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Good Morning America did not show us that you can. Good Morning America did.
Oh, Paul was supposed to be on Good Morning America, so he didn't show you. You can see it on YouTube.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Well,
we're up at the cabin house now, sitting. Okay, I'm sorry you didn't get on there, Paul.
Right.
You haven't had your 5 minutes of notoriety and fame yet, but don't give up.
Nope. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I know. Yeah, because there are people that just troll the whole day. Yeah. Oh, I like that, Barbara.
Because they're miserable.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it does. It actually puts you in the mindset to look for something to be grateful for. And it can be something as simple as, well, it isn't really simple, but birds outside, or seeing a deer walk by. That makes me really happy. But it also could be a glass of iced tea. So yeah.
Right. And clean water, clean air,
Clean air.
I know for me, and I'm looking, I have my sheets are in the wash right now, and to have clean sheets on the bed is like huge for me. I am in such gratitude when I can crawl into bed with clean sheets. If that was one dream I would have, it would be to have clean sheets every day. And I could make that happen. I mean, I could.
Oh, well, yeah, you could if you wanted to go crazy. But it's really beautiful here. It's like 70 or something, not real hot. And I love it when Keith takes the blankets and sheets and hangs them on the fence. And then when you get them back, they smell like the outside. Have you tried that?
Oh,
that's even better.
That's amazing too. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. That is true.
Yeah, you're
Denise.
right. You're right, Denise. Yeah. And actually I should have just ignored him, but I didn't want to.
Well, and I'm glad you stood up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they need to be put in their place.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And so, keeping our positive energy and frequency, vibration, whatever you want to call it, up is, obviously crucial. And so um
Mm.
what do you do, Allie, to keep your vibration high?
Vibration high. I kind of I went to see Esther Hicks, Abraham
Yep.
Hicks, and I've seen her 3 times. And I always she has a lot of really good affirmations, but what she always says is, ask for what you want, not what you don't want, and
Yeah.
then everything always works out for me. And I love that. It's like you may be sitting in the midst of a mess. Oh, but everything will work out. Everything always works out for me. So she really focuses on making sure that we don't go down the negative road. And that's hard for us all. I'm not any better than I've had that. But my other thing, hi, Vicky. My other feeling is I might go out in the grass and just walk in the grass and think
Yeah.
about that. That helps ground me. Or I may float in the hot tub, whatever it is that I need to do. But yeah, I just have to be careful because I could tend to nosh on some rather rotten foodstuffs if I'm not too careful.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music and comedy. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love
Yes.
that.
Music is
Yeah.
so good. And I think, you know, maybe not listening to sad music,
Right.
because I think sometimes that can lower our
Yeah.
vibration. And and
Mhm.
the thing of it is, um, you know, we all kind of have our happy place to go
True.
to. And
Yeah.
and so if we literally can't go there, physically, we can go there in our mind. And so if we're having one of those days where, it's just it's a tough day, we can go to wherever it is that happy place is, whether it's a park or for me it's the ocean. I love being by the ocean, sitting by the ocean.
Mhm.
If it's this country, another country,
Yeah.
wherever it is, I think it's
Yeah.
so
I agree with
important.
you. I agree with you. I'm glad it's on your fridge, honey. That's great. Water Lily says, I'm already one with that which I seek. Ah, absolutely. And that
I
keeps
love
you
that.
in aligned with everything working out for you, or no negative vibration. Yeah, music. 80s music does it for me. Sorry. I love it. I'll listen to it every day if I have something that, yeah. Latin music.
Latin
Ooh.
music does it.
Yeah.
I like 70s and 80s.
There you. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there's something about that salty air
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
water, and then getting the feet in the sand, that
Yeah.
grounding, and
That's right. That's
the
right.
heat of 70s too. I
Oh,
I
yeah.
I do love the 70s, but I like the 80s too.
Well, I was 30 in 1985, and that was like the best year of my life. So that's why I think I was more into, and I was working at the bank, and we used to crank up the radio. I was single for a while. That makes a difference, I think. Hi,
You
Whit.
you worked at the bank. I did a short stint at the bank, but it wasn't for me.
They started me opening new accounts, and then I moved into loans, and then I became a teller because I wanted to learn how. So I was like Jill of all trades,
Oh,
and
that's amazing.
I really loved it. I did love it at the time, but I think I made $5,000 a year.
I think when I started at
Uh-huh.
the bank, I want to say I made like $5.10 an hour.
Yes, yes. I don't even think I made that much. I think I might have made maybe, I don't know, but I think I'm not quite $100 a week, and for 40 hours. And I don't know. It just, you think about that. I know it bought more than it does now. And you can't compare apples and oranges, but we went out to eat for Keith's a lunch for his birthday, and we didn't have dessert, and we didn't have any cocktails or anything. And it was $35, which is fine. But my friend went out with her husband, and they did the same thing, and they spent $100 for lunch. That's a lot of money for lunch.
That's crazy for lunch.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you were in love with Olivia Newton-John.
A little funk always helps too. A little bit of funk and disco too. Like we were talking earlier, the Bee Gees. Yeah. There's something about the Bee Gees that's staying alive. That is.
Oh yeah.
Olivia Newton-John. She was good.
I love Dire Straits. Look at them yo-yos. That's the way you do it.
Oh, I love that
too. On the MTV.
Yep. I love it. Yeah. So self-talk plays a huge part of it too. Self-talk and then just trying not to and there too, I know even myself, I'm guilty of trying not to use I can't, I won't, I shouldn't. And rather than say I can or I deserve it.
Someday I want it. Someday is never.
Yeah. Yep. I will, or it's on its way.
I am. Yeah. The best mantra you can ever say is I am enough. Because whatever comes after I am is very strong, because I am is what the biblical people say. That's what God is. And so it's the God within us. And I just thought that was really cool when I found that out a long time ago. So
you're absolutely right, Aley. The I ams, I am enough. I am worthy. I am beautiful. Yep, I am powerful.
Yeah.
I am that I am. Yes,
Barbara.
That's what
he said. I am that I am.
I love that. I love that. And what turned me on to the law of attraction and the whole manifesting thing back in the 2000s for me was The Secret.
That opened up a lot for folks. Yeah.
And so I remember buying the DVD back in the 2000 whatever year it came out, and watching it, and it blew my mind. And my poor kids, I would set them down, and at least once a year, and they were just in grade school, and I would have them watch it. It's like, you guys need to learn this at a young age, because however old I was, I'm like, I'm just learning this now. It's like, you guys need to, if you guys factor this into your life right now, you're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of me.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, you met Olivia Newton-John? That's amazing. Okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. They have these guys for the first time listening to songs, and they're like amazing, and they're young people, and it's wonderful. My kids heard everything. We used to do, what is it, the midnight special, and Creedence Revival. Yeah. I love Creedence.
Yeah, I do too.
Yep.
I do too. And for me, it's definitely, it's a Tom Petty thing. I turn on Tom Petty, and I'm in my jam, and my poor kids, I drug them to Tom Petty concerts. But I think they're happy, now after, he's gone, that I drug them to Tom Petty.
Yeah. God, I took my kid when he was probably in the 9th grade to see George Carlin.
We saw George Carlin too. He's a hoot.
God, I miss him so dearly, because he's everything he said is happening now. Yep. More so. Yeah.
Isn't it right? Yep. I brought our kids to, and I know they were in grade school. When I took them to Tom Petty, they were late teens, early adults, but they were in grade school when I took them to Green Day, and Yeah, that was
Uh-huh.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
I
I love
love
that.
that Patricia.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
Oh,
amazing.
Louise Hay is fab. I mean, I know she's passed as well, but Louise Hay, Dolores Cannon, Neville Goddard, all these people that have paved the way for us to make it easier for us. And yeah, yep, I believe he did. Yeah. There's another, Florence Scovel Shinn is another one that's older. I've read some of her stuff too. So, yeah.
I'm gonna have to check her out. There's a couple now that have been mentioned that and see, and that's the great thing about doing these shows, right? I mean,
You learn
we
things
will
that you
learn
didn't.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, even myself, it's like I learn from you guys, and it's such a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My daughter was laughing one day. Fleetwood Mac came on the radio, and she knew all the words. Yep,
Yeah.
I love it.
I just had a student named Rhiannon in my class, and she said, I guess you can figure out where that name came from, because that's one of the Fleetwood Mac songs. And, so Mama named her that. Of course, my son's middle name is Colin, Colin, and I liked Colin Hay from Men at Work. That's who, and I said, it's not him I named you for, son. I just like the name, but I'd never heard it before that. So yeah, it's interesting. It's
I love that. I love
Yeah.
Colin.
Yeah.
That was one of my husband's best friend's name.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Colin. I love the Beatles. Many of their songs about love.
Yeah.
And they use the word love.
Mary.
Yeah. So important. Yeah. Water Lily says George Carlin was awesome. You know what? He called it the way he called it the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Terry Cole Whitaker.
Oh yes, Terry Cole Whitaker too. Yes. She has a YouTube channel. Okay.
Well, check her out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia, for sharing that. Because knowledge is power.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, show us your vision board.
Yes. Yeah. So here we are.
Okay. Ooh, nice.
And here,
yep, that looks exactly like one I had. Yep.
Is it?
Yeah.
And I have, there's ones I have, like, they're actually frames, they're nicer. Mm-hmm. This one, but the reason I didn't show a nice fancy one is because I thought I want people to see that you can just use a cork board and I just painted around it. But I have my thank yous, and right there I have grateful for my YouTube friends and family. Mm-hmm. And because I'm so grateful.
I know you are.
For all of you. Mm-hmm. And family matters, leading with love, family fun, make wellness a habit. And these are all
things. You and Tim when you were in India, I think. Is that right? What I'm saying?
Yeah. This is when we were in India. And then I have my my travel list and my bucket list beauty. And I have another one over there, but I think it's important to, even like if we're gonna do like our bucket list, to add to it, I am traveling too. So like you're already putting out that motion that I am going to go to this place.
There. Yeah.
And I have crossed off a few places. I've crossed off Winchester Mansion. I've crossed off Sedona.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
In Mexico. But I mean, I have Turks and Caicos.
Let's go.
Cornwall. Tahiti. Some of them Stonehenge. Machu Picchu. So some of them, but you know what? And then the thing of it is it doesn't matter how I'm going to get there. It's just you gotta let the universe know.
I put this up earlier in the year. Traveling van location shows. And it's been sitting beside me. So this is what I wanted. I didn't know how I'd get that. And so this trip, it's not a van, but it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Exactly. And I remember
uh-huh.
telling you that you were going to be taking a road trip when I don't know if I did like a little mini reading or something for you
Uh-huh.
a
Yeah.
while ago, and I remember thinking probably within the last month, let's say, I was thinking about that. I'm like, I remember telling Allie that she was going to
I
go
think,
on a road trip,
yeah.
and it's like she's because it's summer now because I
Right.
felt like it was going to be in the summer, and I'm like
Uh-huh.
nothing. She hasn't said anything about going on a road trip. I'm like,
Until one
you know,
day.
yeah, and then all of a sudden,
Uh-huh.
this is I am so
Well, it
excited.
was very spontaneous. It was think about it, make it happen, and everything fell into place. And then I knew it was okay. So yeah, it was like you're not supposed to have to push to get what you want. It's
Right?
supposed to just come in. And I mean that doesn't mean you can't call up people and ask questions or whatever it is, but you don't want to keep lamenting about how is it going to happen, how it's going to be done. Just got to let that go. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, because don't you think when the more we fret over how it's gonna
Oh,
happen, it
yeah.
delays it
Delays.
all the more, I think.
Yeah. 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 Why are you not allowing the universe to take care of it is what it's saying. And again, I'm not a biblical person, but I think about the sparrows. They neither spin nor toil, and yet everything is taken care of.
Mhm.
And
Right?
something to it. I guess that's also part of my Buddhism ideas as well. Let go, just let go, be mindful. So, yeah. Who is
Um,
driving? I drive all the time, and because I've had RVs up to 25 feet, this one's 19. Keith can drive. He has no problem driving. It's what takes, but I still think most of it will be me. But we're very, very happy behind the sitting side by side traveling. It's like we've had the most fun our whole marriage doing that. So yeah, so it's things
and
just work out. That's cool, Vicky. Yeah.
and don't you think half the fun of traveling and going on these road trips are planning them and then
Yeah.
planning the snacks and the
Yes.
treats that a person's gonna have along
You
the
must
way.
have been watching me because I found some of those the peanut butter like Cliff Bar things that
Oh,
I didn't know I had, and I'm finding snacks and all kinds of fun things to take.
because and that's half the fun is getting
It
behind the
is.
wheel and having those special snacks that a person doesn't have every day. It and that too is so rewarding and it fills our cup up
Yep.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
it helps.
And I also loaded up my Audible so we can listen to books because I like doing that
Oh,
too.
that'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So that's fun.
That'll be good. And when we did a road trip when we had to drive well my sister and I had flew to Las Vegas and then we rented a car and drove to Arizona to drive my mom back to Minnesota, and
Uh-huh.
it was in the winter, and there too, it was a law of attraction. I asked my angels and guides. I said, just clear the roads for us, clear the roads for us, and 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 I would recommend doing the same. And it
Yeah.
was they literally, I mean, we were driving down the freeway and there was no cars because I'm kind of scared of semis just
Yeah.
driving next
Yeah.
to them
They
and
go
whatnot.
fast. Yeah.
And so they literally cleared the path for me. And so
Hmm.
that's something too, just to have them clear the path, clear the way for you.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Uh,
Ellie and Keith will be with us
that's
in
my hope because I know that can happen. And yeah, I'm leaving on the 22nd. And it would taken about 4 or 5 days to get there. But coming back, we're going to take 10 days because I think we can do some stoppage maybe in some places that I hadn't considered. So you
are
gave up
are you going to
Tuesday.
be able to see Terry?
Possibly. I'm not 100% sure, but Willow's going to meet with me. Jenny Culkin's going to meet
Oh,
with
that'll
me.
be fun.
And I don't, and Terry said I could come by. Keith doesn't, he wants to go more to if you're looking at the map, he wants to go more to the east. and through Ohio. And I said, no, that's ridiculous, because Georgia is, Charleston's right here on the corner of Georgia, close. Why would you go all the way to Ohio to come all the way back over here? So, but anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. And the other thing was the one RV spot left. Yeah.
That too. The one RV. I mean, if
Yes.
that's not telling you
One
that
RV without
Yep.
mileage, and the one camping spot. And there's another place. We joined this thing called Harvest House, and I never heard of it. And there's a lot of people that allow you to stay on their land, and you can.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and all they want from you is mostly their farms, wineries, orchards, things like that. And all they want is you to just buy something like eggs or whatever they're selling. You don't have to pay anything else. And I'm stopping the first night in Missoula, Montana. And this place says, and there's no hookup or anything. So the next night we'll definitely have to find a place with a hookup, because we'll have to dump things and, things like that. But, you can save a lot of money. You heard of those, Denise? It sounds really cool. I guess they don't let you stay anymore very long in rest areas. There's supposed to be a rest area, but if you're there too long, then they knock on your window, So it's very cool that this place does this kind of thing. It cost me like $80 to join it, and it's good for a year. Which, and then we've also got our senior citizen national park free passes. So.
Oh, that'll be nice to have too.
As long as they're open. I'm not sure they're all open. Keith's never been to Bryce or Zion, and I love Zion. Zion is beautiful in Utah. So
Zion is really that's on my bucket list too.
Yeah.
Because
I liked it better than Bryce Canyon. I did when I saw there's a lot of people that like the opposite,
Yep.
With Zion, you're down here looking up. And
Yep.
with Bryce, you're up here looking down.
Oh.
Yeah. But they'll let you drive through the parks if you're under 20 feet.
Oh.
Yeah. Wondering if the Trumpinator, got rid of opening up parks. Remember, he did go after the National Park Service. So I'm hoping that it will be available. So.
Yeah. Oh, and hopefully you can go online and look and see. But when we were just to Joshua Tree, it was open.
Okay.
And there were a few people working there, but
not like normal, probably. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And back to, I just had these little things cut out laying on my computer.
Oh yeah.
Kindness
Oh
Matters.
God, that's so true. Yep.
And Flourish.
Uh-huh.
And I love this one. Be the change.
Be the change. That's right. Perfect.
Have you Tasha Silver, you've heard of Tasha Silver, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yep.
She has like it's an affirmation. It doesn't have a title. It doesn't have a title on it. It just says, read this when you're ready to allow prosperity, wealth, abundance into your life. And I thought I could share it with you.
Yes,
it's so faded and old. I have it taped. I have it taped and hung up.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's watermarks on it, but I thought it would be fun to share with you. Yeah. And so by Tasha Silver, divine beloved, change me into someone who can give with complete ease and abundance, knowing you are the unlimited source of all. Let me be an easy conduit for your prosperity. Let me trust that all my own needs are always met in amazing ways, and it's safe to give freely as my heart guides me. And equally, please change me into someone who can feel wildly open to receiving. Let me know my own value, beauty, and worthiness without question. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. Let me feel worthy to receive in every possible way. Change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself so I may carry the light without restriction. Let everything that needs to go, go. Let everything that needs to come, come. I am utterly your own. You are me. I am you. We are one. All is well. Isn't that beautiful?
That covers everything. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And I'm sure I probably found in a magazine in the 2000s. And
I was going to say, what are they going to do when kids don't read magazines anymore? Did you know that? No.
Right? Yeah.
I know. Interesting. Oh, wow. So, I see Vicki was wondering if we're going to do readings. Did you want to do a few readings?
Yeah, why don't we, because we are at the top of the hour, why don't we, is there anybody else that?
Yeah. We'll do a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Vicki, we gotcha.
Ooh. Oh my goodness, you have a very wise guardian. Look at this owl. I love this. And what's on his head is crown jewels. So not only is he your guardian owl, but he's an elaborate one that is bringing you the wisdom that you need to make the decisions that you have to make, probably more around spiritual things than anything else. But there you go. The next thing I have is medicine, and this is the caduceus, which is a regular medicine symbol. But look at the red, their feathers, and they're saying here that your wisdom is your medicine. Your wisdom and your knowledge is your medicine, and to fly with that medicine. These are feathers. These are ready to take you where you need to go. It says the time is right to find your power, and look at how powerful it is at the very top, and all the triangles. Some of them pointing up and some of them pointing down, but they're just waiting for you to realize that you have the power to do whatever it is you determine from your wisdom and your own medicine. Thank you.
Oh, I love that, Aley. And the cards that I pulled too, Vicki, they coincide with Aley's. I got transformation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it says things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. And then I got I forget what deck this is, but do what you need to do. Whoops. It may be difficult, but now is the time. And I do really feel, Vicki, that it's going to take maybe a little bit of stepping out of your comfort zone in order for you to get things rolling. But this transformation I got is going to be a good one. I feel like it's really big, and I feel like you're really going to really notice big changes come the fall. And Cosmic Ocean. This is Healing Waters. This is one of the decks that you gave me, Aley. Cosmic Ocean, current dreams, future realities, and new beginnings.
Wow.
So appropriate for even today's show.
Yeah.
I do get to be just be discerning about the people that are around you, and make sure that they're supporting your dreams, your wishes, your goals. Because that too, it's really important when we are trying to manifest and create, to make sure that the people around us want what we want, and are positive.
Absolutely. So as you're saying those things, I've Karen Carpenter in my mind singing, "It's gonna take some time this time to get myself in shape." So allow it, Vicki. It may not be to the fall, but you're working on it. And, and of course it's 120 degrees in Las Vegas. So, stay cool.
Yeah. Yep. Drink that extra water.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Great suggestion, Mary. We'll wrap it up with a reading for everybody, for the collective.
Okay. That's great. You're in your robe with the AC. Well, good for you, Vicki.
Yeah.
That's where I'd be too. Ooh, I like that one. All right. Take it easy, baby girl. All right. All right. So what did I get but the white-tailed hawk who says retreat to nature? And how beautiful is that? And I think that that is a soothing place for us, you know, depending upon how hot it is out there. But even if you took a ride, a drive, my family used to do that all the time. They go out every Sunday and go for a ride. They would go places down by the beach or whatever and just get away. Of course, now it's a little bit more hectic out on the roads, but you know, if you could go somewhere and then walk, get an ice cream cone, whatever it is. We also are at a decision choice point. And I love this as a collective card because I think that with a message that Kelly was so instrumental in talking about today, which is manifesting what you want with the law of attraction, that we have to make the decision that's what we want to do. And then we have to implement it, remembering that there are times we may fall off the wagon. It happens, you know, whatever. Yeah. But it's all there. The power is there. The macabre is there, if you can see it. So, and the last card I got is perfect for our conversation. It says, open to receive your abundance.
Oh, I love that.
So it could be abundant health. It could be abundant wealth. It could be friendships. It could be family. It could be whatever it is for you. But open yourself to receive it and knowing that you genuinely have the absolute right to it. Always.
Yeah. I love that. Mm-hmm. I got and it almost kind of looks like the Tower card. It's the crumbling. Yep. And it says, what are we clinging to? And this is a good message, I think, for all of us at all times, because there typically is something that we're always holding on to that we really need to let go of. And with being the full moon right now, this is the perfect time to let go of anything that you might be holding on to and doing your releases. And so because today's 11th. Last night was the full moon. So you know, if writing out your releases of stuff that you no longer want to hold on to, and burning it, ripping it, and letting it go. And then I got be still. And it says cultivate a space of stillness to be silenced and just be. And that's a beautiful one, just even going into the weekend and just, you know, and with our theme today too, just sometimes being still in gratitude and being present in the moment. And then I got follow the stream. And there again, you know, going with the flow, surrendering to our expectations, because once we have given the universe, our angels, our guides, you know, exactly what we want in full detail of every aspect that we want, then it's just sitting back and allowing it, being still and following the stream and just letting the universe decide for us how they're going to manifest.
How they're going to do it.
Yep, in the best possible way. And then I get disappointments aren't the end. And so if anybody out there is feeling that disappointment, there's hope even in the darkest of the nights. And so that kind of ties into the card of releasing and letting go of whatever it is that you're holding on to that you don't need to hold on to anymore. And, you know, it's, you know, there's the darkness, but there's a light. And so when we let go of those things that are weighing us down and heavy on our hearts, it just allows more light to come in.
That's true. It's like your closet, before you go get a whole bunch of new clothes, you might want to get rid of some of the stuff that's in there so it makes more room for the good to come in.
Right. And I'm working. I am working on that. And I think too, for all of us, it's really important to make ourselves a priority.
Absolutely.
We're constantly putting our needs in our family, our kids, and everybody else's needs in front of our own, and to really make sure that our cup is full, that we don't let it become bone dry, and that we take care of ourselves and make ourselves a priority too. And and then again, for anybody that is still with us that maybe wasn't here at the beginning of the show, our friend and sister Julie from the community is having surgery. She's in surgery, going in right now. If you could send her some love and some light and some prayers. And same for Carolyn Booker, that is in the hospital right now too. She could use some extra light and prayers and love sent her way too. So Aley, thank you so very, very much for being here and just sharing your insight, your wisdom on the law of attraction and manifesting, because I find it interesting to always hear stories of others on how they're manifesting. And and thank you to everybody that took time away out of their day to hang out with us. I appreciate and love you all, and we will see you all again really soon. Have a fabulous weekend, you guys.
Bye, everybody. Much love.
Take care.